John Wisner, who was tried for cowardice during the Revolutionary War. Now, John Wisner was from a very prestigious family in a town about 80 miles north of New York City, just as the Revolution broke out. Actually, his uncle, Henry Wisner, was a member of the First and Second Continental Congresses and even was there to approve on behalf of New York, when New York finally got around to it, independence. He voted yes for independence. However, he would leave before the signing of the Declaration, as many people did, to go back home and get to the work that they thought was important back home of an independent nation. So Henry was very important. John Wisner also joined up. He actually joined up as I believe, a captain in the Continental Army. Yes, a captain. Now, when the time came to fight, he went out to fight. Or at least everyone thought he was going to fight. You see, on September 22nd, 1776, he was part of a group instructed to attack I never pronounce it right, Montresor's Island in New York by boat. And they went out by cover of night, and they went by boat, and they were led by soon-to-be Major General Michael Jackson. Not that Michael Jackson, the one from the Continental Army. But unfortunately, they're sailing across, and John Wisner is not cut out for fighting, because he is seen hiding in the bottom of his boat. And the other captain on board sees this, and he starts kicking him and saying, "Dude, like, get up, man. We're literally going to fight right now. Like, you need to sit up. You need to lead these men." And apparently, Wisner had the fear and was not get up and was saying, "Stop kicking me, stop kicking me." And he starts saying, "No, like, they have more weapons and there's more men than we were led to believe. Like, we're being sent," essentially saying they were being sent on a suicide mission. Now, the rest of the men in the boat heard about this because they were, in the boat with him. And they said, "No, no, no, we can't do this." And they start saying, "No, we would like, no, he's saying we're," and so much chaos erupts that the other captain, as I said, James Eldridge, decides, okay, like, these men cannot be led right now. And he decides to turn the boat around and sail away. Now, fortunately, I called him Major General. He would be a Major General, but Colonel Michael Jackson, his boat's already up ahead, and they can't send word to him. So he ends up going with his men in one boat by himself and suffers a horrific defeat, where fortunately Jackson survives, if I recall correctly, but most of his men are killed, largely because they had no support. They should have easily, maybe not easily won this battle, but it should have been a fair fight, and it wasn't. So they get back. Everyone in the army hears about this, and John Wisner is very quickly court-martialed for, quote, cowardice and misbehavior. He's pretty quickly convicted, and there is a link in the article I put to notes about how the trial went, where essentially everyone is like, this guy's an idiot. Like, what was he doing here? And he is quickly convicted and then cashiered, which means removed from the Continental Army and sent on his merry way. And he goes off to live his life and as a private citizen. He does later support the cause in various ways, just not military ways. Now, not everyone liked the fact that he was simply removed from the army. In fact, General Washington very specifically writes to the men who oversaw the court-martial, saying, "Why wasn't this man hung? He should be hung for treason. Not even lashed, not even, as deserters would do, be court-martialed, hung." And he even asked the people who oversaw the court-martial to reconsider their decision. This, of course, was before double jeopardy was a thing, and you could be tried for the same crime more than once. Now, either way, the judges decide, no, we're going to spare his life because the only evidence of this crime was hearsay. Now, this is very strange because at the time there were no cameras or recording devices. They didn't have fingerprints or DNA. So most crimes were pretty much just hearsay, and there were a lot of witnesses going on. But to be fair, there were certain people who sided, certain men who fought for Wisner who sided with him and said, no, he was right in the situation, yada, yada, yada. And because there were enough people contradicting the pretty obvious argument that he had done some things wrong, he ends up being, as I said, cashiered out of the army and goes on to live his life with George Washington disappointed that he was still alive.